Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is an add-on for my recent Romanov Poland guide. So if you haven't watched the guide yet, make sure to do so. I will also include a link in the description. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the RNG heavy moments in my guide. Moreover, I will show you a little trick on how to get Danzig early, while saving a focus and a lot of political power. The other RNG heavy moments in the run concern the annexation of Lithuania, and later on Slovakia and Yugoslavia. I will dedicate a chapter of this video to each one of them, so you can skip directly to the most relevant ones for your situation. Of course, I know you guys are also waiting for the continuation of this run, Poland, or better the Slavic Union, versus the Axis. Do not worry, I'm already working on it and it will be released very soon. Now before we start, as usual, if you're enjoying the content I make, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, feel free to let me know in the comments if you have any doubts or suggestions for further improvements. Now, I reloaded my save in which the setup was already done, no point in showing that again, so we are following my original guide exactly as it was, but there will be some differences concerning Danzig. What we would usually do in our guide is, after completing the first focus, we would peacefully annex Danzig, or reintegrate Danzig, whatever you want to call it. But there is another way to do so, and let me show you what it is. First of all, we're going to continue until the first focus is completed. And there we go, first focus done. At this point we get some political power, which we usually would invest in unification propaganda in order to peacefully integrate Danzig. But there is an alternative. The alternative is going to occupied territories and changing the military governor to not garrison. So we completely remove garrisons from Danzig. What this means is that they are already pretty high resistance, 40% will keep increasing, and once it reaches around 90%, they will revolt and become an independent city, and they will be at war with us. Which means we can annex them militarily. For that, we're going to make a little change here, so we're going to move our divisions a bit closer to Danzig. We keep training them for now, and we also assign all of our planes to the airfield close to Danzig, and we also train our planes. And for now we continue with the usual priority in terms of focuses, so we go down this path. The first one is done, second focus done, we continue with the 4-year plan. Okay, and once this focus is done, we should be pretty close to getting a revolt in Danzig. They are at 86%, which means we're going to adjust our divisions a little bit more. First of all, we want to assign all of the trades because we want to take Danzig as fast as possible. Also increase the motorization priority and make them execute battle plans aggressively. Our planes should be trained by this point, so we can send them to the area with some missions. And then what I like doing at this point, but you can manage it a bit differently if you prefer, is I like having the 10 divisions with the highest training in the first army here. Then we stop training them entirely and we move them all a bit closer to Danzig, somewhere like here. Okay, there we go. Danzig declare independency, so we are at war with them. So what I would suggest doing at this point is making a save because there is some RNG involved. Of course, this is the topic of this video. And in this case, the RNG concerns Germany joining Danzig in this independency war. If Germany joins them, then it's pretty much GG. We need to restart the run. Luckily, it's an early stage of the run, so we can afford to do that. But in any case, we want to try to take Danzig as fast as possible to reduce the chances that Germany joins them. And for that, what we're going to do is we assign our planes, we assign our navy to naval invasion support, we start attacking immediately with the 2 less trained armies, and then we assign our main army, let's see, the trained one, the highly trained one, a spearhead into Danzig, and immediately give them a staff office plan. Now, the other thing that is worth mentioning at this point is that our stability is terribly low, but we have quite a lot of political power. We wouldn't have enough in the usual run, but we saved about 150 by making Danzig revolt and not picking the usual decisions. And you can use this political power in the way you prefer. One option would be to simply follow the guide, so pick earlier the noble bureaucrat, which is pretty good, probably the best choice. Or if you are worried about your stability, you could also go for the autocratic archbishop this early for the extra stability. In any case, we have 150 political power that we saved by starting this war early. Let's say we go for the noble bureaucrat. This is the focus that we are saving. We would usually pick after Central Region Strategy, ban the Nazi Party and then integrate Gdansk industries. But in this way, we can skip one focus. And technically, actually, since it's only 12 days, you could even go directly for this one. And it's slightly better. Let's actually do that. So we only lost a couple of days, but this focus allows us to replace embargoed economy with export focus. It depends on how many days you lose, because this is another good focus, but this one is better. So if you can prioritize this one, that's probably the best choice. And then we just try to attack them as fast as possible. The problem here is we have terrible stats because of river crossing, terrain. Well, now it's also night, but also they have insane experience. They only have 3 divisions without a commander, but they have a very high level of experience. It's very, very difficult to push these 3 divisions. Okay, our other army is ready to push. At this point, I would stop the first 2 and I would attack with them with force attack, and then I would send all of them again. And this, in my opinion, maximizes the green number up here and makes this battle the fastest possible. It's still not very fast, unfortunately, but there isn't much we can do about that. If you have any better ideas on how to manage this, maybe an option would be consolidating the armies so that you have less divisions but with a higher strength. And since only a little amount of armies can actually fit into this combat, 5 divisions, having 5 divisions with full strength would be probably more beneficial. But then we would need to recruit more armies and we don't have manpower, so it might affect the rest of the run. That's why I overall prefer this strategy. I would keep using force attack basically on cooldown so that you increase your chances a little bit. Okay, they lost the first division, so now it will be a bit faster. Another thing you can do with the extra political power if you want, and if you think it will help, is you can pick the infantry expert. But I don't think it's particularly relevant in this fight. And basically we are done. It looks like we got good RNG this time, because Germany did not join them. We also completed this amazing focus. Now we can continue with the rest of the focuses as usual. And there we are. So good RNG this time, so we can simply annex them. Now, if you look here, it says that this is actually a core of the Kingdom of Poland, and I believe it is a core. But probably the game doesn't expect you to do something like this. And so, despite the fact that by looking at the manpower, it looks like a core province, I think we also get full factories from it. For some reason, we retain the compliance and resistance in this province, which shouldn't be the case. So that's a little bit annoying. But other than that, by doing this, we saved 150 political power. We saved a 35 days focus, this one. And we were able to pick this focus a lot earlier than usual. Well, a couple of months earlier than usual. So if you get this done right, it is convenient. It is much better than usual. The only reason I didn't include it in the main guide is that it's pure RNG. Sometimes Germany joins them early and there is nothing you can do about it. So you just reload the save or restart the run until you're able to get Danzig before the Germans join them. We were lucky in this case, but there isn't much to showcase if they don't. You're just fucked. So hopefully you will be lucky. In any case, this is a nice trick that one of you suggested in the comments. I experimented a bit with it, so thank you by the way for the suggestion. And let me know if you try it in your runs, if you can get it done. Now let's get into the next topic, which is Lithuania. Now, at some point in our run, we picked the focus demand Lithuania, and in my experience, in the hundreds of test runs that I had, Lithuania always accepts. However, one of you sent me a save file in which Lithuania indeed refused, and what happens when they refused is that you don't annex them, of course, but you get a claim on them, a war goal on them. Which means we can take them militarily, and that's totally fine. So what we're going to do at this point of the run is we're going to pick immediately limited conscription. That's what we would do anyway with 150 political power. And the main difference is at this point we would continue with the focus demand Slovakia, thanks to the extra divisions that we take from Lithuania. But in this case Lithuania refused, so we cannot pick demand Slovakia. This is going to be the main difference, however. We just pick Pan-Slavic revanchism before that. And we immediately prepare our armies, including the trades, motorization priority, aggressively execute battle plans, stop training, cancel the fallback line, and then we go with one army to the southern part of Lithuania, something like this, and one army into the northern part of Lithuania with a spearhead. We want to take them as fast as possible. No time to waste here. And the other thing we need to do, of course, is we need to recruit 9 infantry divisions. These are the infantry divisions that we would have gotten from Lithuania, but in this case, we will need to recruit them ourselves. There we go. So, war on Lithuania, and let's take what is rightfully ours. As I mentioned, they just go down very, very easily and fast. So. And that's it. Okay, at this point you have a couple of options. You could puppet them. I usually prefer puppeting countries which are not my core. The problem with puppeting them is that Germany will demand Memel at some point, and your puppet will not accept, which means you will be at war with Germany. That's another GG. You don't want that. So the other option is you only annex Memel and puppet the rest, or simply you annex everything, and that would be what would have happened if they accepted our demands. Actually, I think it's possible to core Lithuania later on, as long as you have enough compliance, so probably annexing them is the best option, in any case. So we proceed with annexing them, and then we basically continue the run as usual. The only difference is, once this focus is completed, what we would usually do is we would claim the Kingdom of Hungary. But since now we are one focus early, we cannot claim the Kingdom of Hungary right away. Otherwise we will be too early and our claim will expire. So what we will do instead is, once this is completed, now we want to pick the Man Slovakia. We cannot do it right away, but we can force deploy our divisions, the 9 divisions that we started recruiting, and now we can pick the Man Slovakia. So we can proceed as normal. We go for the Man Slovakia. Once the Man Slovakia is done, is completed, we claim the Kingdom of Hungary, and then we proceed with the usual focuses, this one, and then claim Russia. And we start our wars in the Balkans. The only other thing is that this will cause us to generate some war tension, 3.2% to be specific. Claiming Hungary will cost us another 7% war tension, but actually this war tension will decrease a little bit by the time we claim Hungary. So in the end, we will be below the 10% threshold, which is what we absolutely need to avoid guarantees from the Allies. So it will be fine. Okay, it will be fine unless Czechoslovakia also refuses. In that case, that's another thing that really never happened in my runs, but by reloading a save game, I managed to trigger Czechoslovakia to refuse, so I will show you that as well. And I mean, if you're very, very unlucky, say if you took Danzig militarily and then Lithuania refused and then Czechoslovakia refuses, then you might be a little bit in trouble with the war tension for the claim on Hungary. But that's so unlucky that I cannot even imagine that ever happening. So let me reload the save in which Czechoslovakia refused and show you this last RNG heavy potential moment. So Czechoslovakia again usually accepts, but in this case they refused. What we want to do at this point is we want to take them down as fast as possible. Czechoslovakia can actually be quite annoying to take down. So the strategy we're going to use against them is this. We're going to use our main army to cut off this part of Czechoslovakia as fast as possible. So we want to cut them in two. The second army will go into the eastern part of Czechoslovakia and just push around here. And the last army will be useful here, in the sense that as soon as we open a breach into the Czechoslovakian defenses here, we are going to use this army to cut through here and rush the victory points to end this war as fast as possible. Of course, we want to make sure that we assign our planes as well, and other than that, let's wait until our divisions are in position and then just go after Czechoslovakia. Again, you can use a staff office plan to make sure they have some nice planning bonus. But as soon as you have the organization, I would suggest not wasting any time. Okay, there we are. Go right away, because the longer they have to prepare, the harder the war will be. And then attack with everybody at the same time. What is likely to happen is that you will break through here. This province is usually the weakest one. We have the most supplies here as well. So as you can see, we already managed to break through. And at this point, immediately use the third army to try to rush the victory points in here. And use this army, or better, these divisions, not to attack in here, but to keep pushing down all the way to Bratislava. Okay, see, it worked perfectly. This does require a little bit of micromanaging, but it's not even that much. The absolute priority is to cut them into two and to rush the victory points. This always works, but you need to be fast. And Bratislava is sometimes a little bit tricky to get, but if you push them on the other side, taking some other victory points will be enough. Maybe it's already enough, let me check. No, not yet, but it will be soon. We just need to take these last victory points in here. Okay, done. So as you can see, this is a very, very easy war, as long as you manage it like this. If you let them prepare, they actually have a fairly huge amount of divisions. But yeah, that's done very smoothly, very easily. And at this point, it depends a bit on your run. If you already generated a lot of war tension, you want to be careful with what you annex. I would say the minimum that you need to annex is what we would have gotten anyway. So this part of Czechoslovakia, better Slovakia. This will only cause 0.30 war tension. So in any case, you can take this stuff without issues. But if you have some room, some space for additional war tension, you can also take these two provinces here, which are quite rich. And right now we have 2.4%. I would suggest staying below 3.2, 3.3% war tension. But again, it depends on what happened with Lithuania and with Danzig. Whatever you do, do not take Sudetenland, Eastern Sudetenland, and Zaulitzia. And that is because Sudetenland and Eastern Sudetenland will be claimed by Germany later on in any case. And if you own them, you will either need to give them away or be at war with Germany. And Zaulitzia will be given to us for free in the Munich agreement, so we don't need to take it now. Annexing them is the best in terms of reducing the war tension, but another possible option you have at this point is puppeting them. And puppeting them is actually slightly more expensive in terms of war tension, especially if you take the resource rights. They have some decent resources, especially in here. So it's probably nice, it's probably worth puppeting them and getting the resource rights. And then if you can, if you have enough room, getting some war reparations would also be nice, because they have some civilian factories that we can use. So entirely up to you what you prefer doing, annexing them or puppeting them, but whatever you do, again, don't take Zaulitzia and the Sudetenland provinces. Now, the other important thing at this point is the divisions down here will be separated, or better, the supply hubs down here will be separated from the ones up here. So what I would suggest is building some railways to connect the southern territories and the northern railways. Now, the very last topic of this short video concerns Yugoslavia, and actually I already covered that in the main guide, but I will just go over it very briefly. Now, as you already know, when you complete the demand Yugoslav subjugation focus, Yugoslavia will either accept, and in that case you simply annex them peacefully, or they will refuse, in which case that you will get a claim on them. Now, here I reloaded a save in which they accepted. When they accept, you get them for free, but you don't get to annex the Kingdom of Romania, because the Kingdom of Romania guarantees Yugoslavia. So when they refuse, you declare war on them and Romania joins as well. But if they accept, there is no way to take Romania for us, at least nothing that I can think about, since we already have enough war tension for guarantees to happen, so we cannot do much about it. So when this is the scenario, I showed this in the main guide, but let me talk about it again. We declare war on Hungary, Latvia and Estonia at the same time. And what we really want to do is we want to pick war economy. But since nobody has enough factories, we cannot pick it right away. So what we're going to do is we're going to let Hungary push into Yugoslavia. We're just not going to care. And as soon as they get the capital of Yugoslavia, usually they have enough factories for us to pick war economy. This is a very nice trick to pick war economy during the war, even when Yugoslavia accepts. We pick war economy. I also like picking extensive conscription before attacking them. Technically, you could take Latvia and Estonia in the meantime, but these wars are very easy in any case, so you can wait until you have 150 political power and pick extensive conscription. And then I will show you just as a showcase, no point in waiting now, but while their divisions are busy taking Yugoslavia, they will actually go down extremely fast. So this is very easy. And that's it. So Hungary is already down, and then Estonia and Latvia is the usual stuff. They're very easy. Okay, and that is when Yugoslavia accepts. Very, very easy. When Yugoslavia refuses, the war is a bit tougher, but the strategy is even easier. If you want to see the war in detail, of course, check the main guide in which we cover it. So here it's the same exact situation. We're about to start the wars in the Balkans, but in this case Yugoslavia refused, and what you do is you simply declare war on Yugoslavia, Hungary, Latvia, and Estonia at the same time. So we got all of them. That means that Romania will also join. And we are at war with all of our neighbors at once, which will also mean we will conquer all of them. The strategy is basically the same, but you should watch the main guide for a more detailed strategy on how to win this war. In any case, generally speaking, we are going to push Latvia and Estonia first because they are the easiest. Then we will push Hungary. Finally, we will go into Yugoslavia, and from here, attack Romania from all sides and easily conquer them. Okay, the very last thing that I need to mention is after taking Yugoslavia, whether it was peacefully or militarily, sometimes Italy will demand for Dalmatia. That doesn't always happen, but when it happens, I would suggest just giving Dalmatia to Italy to avoid further issues. And that's really the last RNG moment of this run, so I think we covered pretty much everything. But if anything else weird happens in your run, feel free to let me know, and I will try to assist you. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I really had a lot of fun playing as Poland, so I wanted to make this add-on video to cover all of the possible scenarios in this run. This is a very, very fun run, so make sure to try it and let me know how it goes. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.